waving to the Queen. All right. So next we will go to Royal Decree 273. Oh, this will be juicy. So Royal Decree 273. Can you put that up, please, for a second, Your Excellency, Darlene, on screen? Okay. So what's the
forensic financial audit on lawyers and accountants, business and trust accounts?
Excellent. Okay. So that is the forensic financial audit on trust accounts and business accounts of accountants and lawyers. All right. It seems the entire panel has their hands up. Okay, go ahead. Who would like to start?
With Her Excellency Sally Wong.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Excellencies and Your Royal Majesty. I just wanted to say something that I think is important. I was just thinking all of what we're going to be educated on today was written by Your Royal Majesty starting in October. So it's the last quarter of last year that you wrote these. And it's very interesting to know what was on your heart at that time, which isn't even 6 months ago. And it's very interesting to know that people signed a non-disclosure agreement so that you would be protected. Very interesting. All right. So what I found interesting about Royal Decree 273 Financial Forensic Audit was there are, it's to address 245, 5 specific money laundering, embezzlement, misappropriation of public funds, and foreign interference. But what I found really interesting was in this Royal Decree, Your Royal Majesty listed from A to U, that's 21 kinds of accounts that can hold, that can try to hide money. And so I was quite amazed that Your Royal Majesty really knows your stuff.
No kidding.
And I won't go through all 21, but I'll just read the last, well, I'll just pick, the last maybe 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 types of the 21. Bank account controlled by unions on behalf of their members, foreign or domestic domiciled, operating in the Kingdom of Canada. Section S, bank account controlled by cooperatives on behalf of their members, foreign or domestic domiciled, operating in the Kingdom of Canada. Section T, bank account controlled by strata council on behalf of their members, foreign or domestic domiciled, operating in the Kingdom of Canada. Section U, bank account controlled by holding companies on behalf of their members, foreign and or domestic domiciled, operating in the Kingdom of Canada. So that's only 4 out of the 21 that Your Royal Majesty has listed. Thank you.
Who's next?
Her Excellency Gina Lee.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. I wanted to say about this Royal Decree, the old system actors, such as the lawyers, the accountants, the investment firms, all of which served as a legal shield to launder money and divert public investments or private investments to be able to conduct these crimes, whether it was human trafficking, sex trafficking, embezzlement, laundering. And I think about the 2 prominent individuals that we currently have in America, which of course is Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Diddy Combs and what's being revealed there. But then I also think about at the micro scale, of what these judges and these lawyers and these banks, because they're really banks, and what they were doing was human trafficking through family courts of children, and all those actions, and the lawyers that would use the money and the privacy of client attorney privilege to be able to conduct this unlawful activity and to unjustly destroy families in such a regard. So you have that macro scale of what we're all aware of and what's going on currently, but then you also have those micro scale cases that are affecting and directly impacting families. And I think about how this royal decree is going to bring incredible natural law justice to help alleviate and restore and potentially bring back those families with all the rest of Her Royal Majesty's royal decrees. And this is absolutely fantastic. I can't thank you enough for this royal decree. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who's next here? We tend to be wasting a lot of time by me asking who's next, who's next. Okay, so can we save time there?
I'm just trying to unmute Your Excellency Deborah Gray.
So Your Excellency Deborah Gregg, and please try to unmute your microphones to the panels. Unmute your microphone so it can be controlled from the command center.
So we'll go on
Okay.
to the next one. So it's Her Excellency Maria Magdalena.
All right, Her Excellency Maria Magdalena.
Forensic audit is a very peaceful way to uncover the fraud. The money from drug trafficking, human trafficking, adrenochrome trafficking is being moved back and forth through this reputable and legal appearing networks that are now being audited. These forensic audits not only ensure that a crime is uncovered, it prevents, at least a part, that a new crime can be committed if the perpetrators are deprived of the means. Thank you for this decree, Your Majesty.
You're welcome. And I would like to just speak to that in particular, the that royal decree. For those who may not be aware and those who are not familiar with legalese, the special lawyers trust accounts, also known as trust accounts, were initially set up to safeguard client funds and maintain the integrity of legal profession. These accounts were designed to isolate client funds from lawyers' own assets, ensuring that client money is not commingled with the lawyer's funds. However, the lack of transparency in these accounts had led to concerns about potential misuse. Just to give you a few reasons why some nefarious lawyers might exploit this setup. So the lack of oversight, the confidentiality of trust accounts makes it difficult for regulatory bodies or third parties to monitor transactions, potentially allowing lawyers to hide ill-gotten gains. Also, difficulty in tracing transactions. The isolation of client funds within trust accounts can make it challenging to track the flow of money, making it easier for lawyers to conceal their activities. Last but certainly not least, potential for money laundering. The secrecy surrounding trust accounts can facilitate money laundering schemes, as lawyers may use these accounts to launder funds obtained through criminal activities. All right. Who's next? Her Excellency Deborah Gregg. Who else needs, would like to comment on that?
Deborah Gray is, and it looks like the entire panel.
Okay, so the entire panel would like to speak to that. Okay, go ahead.
Excellency Deborah Gregg.
Okay. Her Excellency Deborah Gregg, are you able to hear us? Maybe the transmission from up north.
Might be frozen. So we'll go
Okay.
to Her Excellency D. Cumming Soul.
Okay.
So many people have shared now, so it'll be very brief. What I just wanted to add to it is how near it comes to the individuals. So the financial audits are so important because the whole the lawyer system was there to dip into, and even at the level of, like, I bring attention to I, J, and K pension funds. So the retirement contributions that are dipped into, and like this is for the individuals longevity of care, if I can say, as they go back from work. But like that is huge, that they're fooling around, they're mishandling these things, retirement contributions, and as well, excuse me, as bank accounts controlled by Canadian national executors, executrix, from the last will testament. So this is, to me, like, this is dealing with the ancestors. Well, you have an ancestor that's struggling financially, and this has been meddled with. Like, thank you so much, Queen Romana, to bring justice to this and end this kleptocracy, because that's meddling with the ancestors and their ability to live. So that really spoke to me, this part of it. Thank God that there's going to be now unannounced forensic audits, that this can be terminated, because when two things that are very dear to my heart are ancestors and children, so don't mess with them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe Her Excellency Deborah Gregg is ready.
Okay. Your Excellency Deborah Gregg. Did she have her hand up? No? Okay. Go to Her Excellency Julia. If Her Excellency. So whoever's not ready to speak, you'll be bypassed and we'll go to the next one. Otherwise, we are taking a lot of time waiting for who's going to speak next. So please make sure that your computer is ready and microphone on.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness, Your Royal Majesty. The thing that is incredible about this particular royal decree is how thorough it is as a sieve to catch all the potential avenues of misappropriated funds of criminal activity, the proceeds from criminal activities, from trusts, unions, co-ops, strata council, holding companies. This is the lifeblood of very, very serious crimes against humanity. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, adrenochrome proceeds, organ harvesting proceeds. This is massive, because without the way to profit and share and hide this money, these operations cannot continue. So much gratitude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Her Excellency Cecilia.
Her Excellency Cecilia.
Thank you. I thought I would just share a couple of areas which are to be audited or looking at, and to do with pension funds and pension funds holding funds from clients. And this is retirement contributions, which a lot of people, this will be of concern. Forthwith, all pension funds accounts holding substantial amounts and or long-term client funds with the interest benefiting the individual client are subject to unannounced forensic financial audit. And the second one is Section J, pension funds, investment bank accounts holding funds from clients, i.e. retirement contributions. all pension funds, investment accounts, holding substantial and short or long-term client funds with the interest benefiting the individual and client are subject to unannounced forensic financial audit. This royal decree encompasses all areas which affect we the people. Thank you, Your Majesty. It's amazing, the detail.
You're welcome. Thank you. Your Excellency, Michael Hawkins.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you, everyone. Yes, this royal decree addresses the wide range of entities and legal and financial professions that that need to be in compliance with auditing requirements. This royal decree highlights the massive constructive fraud committed, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, by the now defunct corporations masquerading as we the people's government, nonprofits and NGOs, including these industries. And as Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digital I has instructed, exposed for everyone to see in the media today. This decree is like all decrees worldwide. And when you really absorb this information and how detailed this royal decree is, the constructive fraud is massive. And under Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digital I's reign, that ship has sailed. And let that sink in. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty.
You're welcome.
I believe we have everyone for that royal decree, Your Majesty.
Okay, excellent. I would like to say that
I believe Her Excellency Julia Hickson, she's been raising her hand.
okay, Her Excellency Julia.
I just had one other point that I forgot to mention, which I think is incredibly significant, and that is the penalty. This royal decree is retroactive to January the 1st, 1974. And it carries a daily financial penalty, for each infraction or violation of 1 billion Canadian dollars backed by gold and silver. This is a massive bringing back of all of this ill-gotten, horrible money back to we the people, back to the treasury. Massive. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. And shall we say, a regular or a human being of a 3D world who some took part in the atrocities via this old system would not have been able to write this royal decree. This royal decree comes from 26th dimension, where I come from. And so the consciousness, the awareness, and the ability to go into the intricacies, the woven, the intricacy of how everything was interconnected. I had to go through all of that and examine the twists and turns, and then I had to one by one unwind prior to writing that royal decree. You have to know the intricacies of the deliberate crimes perpetuated on the we the people, not only in the Kingdom of Canada, but around the world. And this royal decree specifically first cut the rope, and then one by one took the rope, the string that was part of that rope, and said to the we the people, here you are. And anything that was accumulated financially or any and all assets via the penalty, the daily penalty, brings back all of that to the we the people. Your Excellency.
Yes, His Excellency Herbert Cerami has something to add.
Okay, Your Excellency, go ahead.
Thank you, Her Majesty Roma the First and the HEs on the cycle of friends. This royal decree is very golden opportunity for we the people globally, because it's what we've been suffering on. Lawyers, attorneys holding trust funds, they don't want us people to know about these funds, and that they are holding people's funds in their own names and people cannot claim what is theirs, even unemployment funds and so on. But now reconciling concealment of all this money laundering and activities being happening we never knew, from underground tunnels and whatever in the health sector and so on. Doctors who will be accountable. And I loved how it was designed to saying we'll audit them without notifying them so that they don't continue doing that. That means it's no longer now audit will come after 12 months with their audited companies, declaring them bankruptcy, hiding the people's money so that they can go back again to treasure to steal money again and again. Now, in that instance, I see they're gonna lose everything due to the penalties. Where will they get 1 billion gold standard? Because of they were doing all these activities on the fiat inflated economy. Now means we the people must be prepared to ensure that we will be the board of governors of those entities so that we there for the money to ensure, because it's us the people who come with gold and silver. We don't get gold and silver from them. We are the implementers, creators of gold and silver on this system, coming with this new system. That in that instance, we have to have our board of directors who will be there to ensure that nobody stealing, nobody brings money which is filthy, nobody is us who have to be the new guards of we the people by training our people to do so that no crime is the people's money. Don't go for the handout. Because of now, they have trained our people so that they can receive these envelopes, extra cash out of what they are there to get on their contract. Now we have to work on our people mindset. Although we know medical beds will be there to help our people to do the right, but we must prepare them so that when MedBase comes, they know what are they here for to save this planet Earth on the people's money. Now, I thank you, Royal Majesty, the first to conceal all the money laundering, theft, organ trafficking, which is a very huge problem. And everybody see as if it's a cash cow. I can kill, I can want to be a nurse, but my objective is not to nurse. Can be a doctor, my objective is not to be nursing, but is to steal the organs of the loved ones so that I can have this trust fund where money can be laundered for me so that I can own assets. Now, even our banks are involved in this. Now we'll have our own bank, which will be Canada's Treasury Royal Bank. In that way, that money is for we the people. We must ensure they don't put a hand again in that money. I thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And also, remember that we have not only the financial forensic audit, but we also have forensic audit on the technology that they have used. That includes, of course, all laptops, computers, tablets, cell phones, anything that was used to communicate. That also includes the software as well as the banking system itself, on how it communicated. For example, your SWIFT system, which is now, by the way, archaic and completed, kaput. But that would have been able to trace. You can trace who receive specific funds, where it originated, and how many times it went around the world, which chairman of the board of the bank gave the go ahead to transfer from one central bank to the other, which central bank governor gave the key of a particular central bank to another central bank to allow for zero tracing. The SWIFT was for the small, shall we say, small time, we the people who I call, I would say, the billionaires. I call these small people, with regards to, because they were allowed to use that system. However, the trillionaires and the centrillionaire and beyond did not use the SWIFT system. They simply exchanged keys, the central banks. Here's the key. You have 30 seconds in which to transfer from this central bank to that central bank, and then we will close after that 30 seconds time frame. $10 trillion has been transferred to another central bank in another continent without it being traced, without anyone knowing, because they have no access to the central bank keys. So there are many systems that were used to transfer. It only takes one phone call between the central bank governors. Ask the Queen how she knows. Next. Her Excellency Sally Wong. One moment.
Thank you, Your Excellencies and Your Royal Majesty, Queen Romana. This Royal Decree 273, thank you, Your Royal Majesty, for explaining how this is 26D. No wonder we are at a loss of words, really. We can't actually say or even think. We're following your explanation, but what I get from this is that Your Royal Majesty has busted the ill-gotten gains of the evil old system. And no one else could do this. These crimes are the end of the Homo sapiens. These were the heinous crimes. If I may list them again, this would have destroyed the Homo sapiens. This was the end game. Not illicit drugs is nothing compared to the human trafficking, sex trafficking, ADRENOCHROME, and organ harvesting. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty, for all that you do for we the people.
Yes. And when I was preparing to issue and write the royal decree, imagine you have an entity where, say, this was the entity and this is the top of the entity, where they had designed, created all of the tentacles of that entity. So I had, as your queen and monarch of the world under natural law, so they were up here, I had to view the entire schemes from the top and know and see every single angle of it. You cannot dismantle it from the same level or below. You have to know above. You have to view that from above. So that is how the royal decree is very, very thorough. And now you have, and I do hope that we the people will take time to educate themselves and gain knowledge from the royal decree. And I have written it in a way that is simple for we the people to understand. There's no legalese in that, to make sure that even a very young child can have an understanding, can visualize how it was constructed, how the system was constructed and connected, woven so intricately that they protected not only the system, but the people that were working for the system using an entity, i.e. the bar, which is your British accreditation registry. Imagine that you create an entity which then was allowed to conceal, I'm not saying that all, but the nefarious energies were then allowed through the bar. They were able to conceal ill-gotten wealth and all the nefarious activities that it originated from. Imagine. And the people were programmed to believe. They created, there was an intention. The intention was to ensure that the people's monies were not commingled with the lawyer's assets. Meanwhile, the behind the scene purpose and intent really was not to shelter the people, but to hide the criminality of those who were in the nefarious business. All right, so we will go to, I think everyone had spoken to that royal decree. We will go now to